Welcome to part 21, 22? I lost count as always. Today we will continue our endeavor of converting the Voron, or like the Voron extruder to direct drive on my Enderwire, and also we will continue working on the USB toolhead board. So last time we ran all the cables, but I kind of had to stop because my throat was a bit unwell at that time. But yeah, so today we basically just built a Clockwork 2 extruder with this teeny tiny C-bore stepper. And of course we will swap out the toolhead board I have at the moment with the USB toolhead board and this little like daughter board for the front. Yeah, I think that's kind of like my goal for today, to kind of complete the entire toolhead. Let's see how quick or slow it goes. And then ideally next time we would just do like entire software configuration for all the different things. Hi there, Harlem. So yeah, I don't think there's much to say before we start. So let's just get in. I think step one is just to pull off the toolhead as it is at the moment. And yeah, let's just start with that. Let's just take apart what we have. So these are the two cables we had last week, basically we added. So they run under deck already, and everything there should be kind of where it's supposed to be. So we also opened this already. So yeah, I think we just have to completely take it apart and see where we go from there. So yeah, we also have to unplug that, of course. I just moved it all the way forward here. Let's get those cables out of the way. I'm actually curious, I didn't check yet if we can reuse the cables we crimped here, whether it's like different cables for new boards. So that's entire hot end assembly, basically. I still use the MicroSiwss all metal hot end that I had on my Ender. Maybe at some point we will replace that with like a Wago. But let's see. For now, I keep that. I think the first thing we will actually replace at some point. There's still the BLTouch here. So the BLTouch, it would be nice to replace it with something better. Maybe I was looking at the beacon probe. It would be pretty cool to have the beacon probe, because they now have this like new tap basically, where like you tap the nozzle on the build plate and the probe detects the deflection of the build plate. So it has automatic Z offset adjustment, which I think is pretty cool, and I kind of want to have, because it's an ongoing struggle for me for some reason. Let's see, I kind of forgot how this is put together, but I think it's just those two screws here. And this entire thing should come off. Okay, there seems to be something else that I forgot. I think maybe the screw is just not quite out. Here we go. Sorry, you don't see anything of that. Okay, these are really long screws. There we go. Okay. Didn't expect the screws to take so long. So basically this one here is somewhat stuck for some reason. Let me just try to... Here we go. Okay. Oh yeah, of course this is also anchored here. The drag chain is of course anchored here. Maybe it's easier to just take off the anchor. I think we have to reuse anyways. Wait, we can also just unclip the end. Let's do that. Just unclip the last chain element. Oh. My headset is already empty. That's not good. Huh. Okay, then I don't have music, that's fine as well. I forgot to charge my headset, I think. So let's also unplug those before we rip off the cables, because it's something I would totally do. And last one. Okay, then let's try to unclip this last element here. Here we go. Okay, now this is all loose. So we have here the probe. The crimps look okay. I think I didn't break them. Like I'm always like super scared with those like teeny tiny crimps. Yeah, and this is the old board. We soldered this by hand actually, and we never used the motor plug because like we used the board extruder here with this wide splitter setup. So basically we just replace this entire thing. The only parts we will reuse are the cover, and I think the arm we can still use. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like the arm we will still use. So let's just take this apart. I don't think we need a printer for now, so I think I'll just actually put it on the floor, and we have like a lot of space and we can work. Yep, here we go. It is heavy. So then basically, let's just take off the parts we need to reuse. So it's basically this here. Let's maybe start with the screw on the back. And then there's one from the front that's a bit hidden. There you go. So this is to be reused. And there's this door that we also want to reuse. And for the rest, let's just leave this in one piece because potentially we will use this again for some other project. So let's not take it apart. Perfect. So these should be all the parts we need to build the Clockwork 2 extruder. And I conveniently have the manual on the side. So basically like the main stealth burner body we already assembled. So we have the front plate, of course. We have the tool section, the hotend section basically. Maybe we can clean this a bit before we put it back together. But that should be all fine. So it's really just the clockwork we need to build. So I would say let's just walk through the manual and see how we do. Oh yeah, I have plenty of heatsink inserts now. I was always like having too little. Now I ordered like 1 million, so we're definitely good on that. So let's see. So we start with the big part. Oops. Somewhat nice and vertical. So there go a couple. So basically here. And on the opposite side. I feel like this tool is much better than the heatset insert tool I had before. Like it's much easier to press in. I feel like this has like more, like it's chunkier, so it has more thermal mass. So it's really easy to heat up the insert, and like it's much easier to push it in compared to the old one. And then one hidden here on the side. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Then we go to this part here. Also a couple here. So we have one here. We have one on the bottom. And one on the side. Three on the back. This part has a lot. Let's just put them all in place already. So there's another one here. And another one here. And here we need to pay attention. So the top and the bottom one go below the surface. So let's just do this one first. And then it doesn't quite say how much. So maybe like this. Oh yeah, actually here you can see it, just like the manual says. Like it kind of pokes through here. So now you see it's bottomed out. So this is the correct depth, and they're both. This one is a tad higher. So let me push this a bit more. Yeah, should be fine. Perfect. Not quite happy with the print quality. Like I printed it in my prototyping preset. So it was quite quick because I wanted it to be ready before our stream, and I totally forgot to print that. So that was that. So lots of heatset inserts. And there's one more on the side, or both parts. Yes. So this one has one here. And the big part has, oh, this one will be funny to put together. Yeah, I can't use my soldering iron to put this in, I think. There's not enough space. So let's do the following. We just screw in a screw. Now we just heat up the screw. Or we maybe can heat up the soldering iron. The insert. And we can use the screw to maneuver it in. Keep a close up of what I do here with the black screw. Basically just touching the insert on the bottom to heat it up. It doesn't work quite as well as I hoped. Like normally what you can also do is like you use like a long screw, heat up the insert, like you screw it in and use a lighter to heat up the end, but I don't have a lighter laying around. So we have to do the awkward indirect way. Yeah, it's actually like if you push it at an angle, it kind of works as well. Yep. That's in. I didn't destroy the plastic here, so that's good. Perfect. Let's see if we have to do any more. This part we already have, so that's what we reuse. And then we go to the idler. So these are these two parts. And this is kind of like standard part. I think like all the Voron extruders have like a part like this. And this one gets an insert here. Exactly, and then we put this part together. And we need an M3x16 to hold that together. Let me see. So, looking for this big box with lots of screws. Here we go. Actually, use a nice tool. Perfect. Put that together. Then okay, now we need the extruder parts. I have no clue if they're good or not. Like I ordered just a kit from AliExpress with all the parts we need. Oh, one thing I didn't have is I didn't lube. I don't have lube. Give me 1 second. I quickly grab some lube. For those like bearings, we need a little bit of lube to make them run smooth. I'm right back. Here we go. Tiny bit of lube. So that's always a bit messy. So we take the short one. Let's actually just put a tiny bit of lube in the middle. Now we just push the shaft through it. It doesn't need like a lot, it's just a bit. A tiny bit more. Always nice to have in my hands. And then let's see, so this one has a set screw and this one doesn't have a set screw. So the one without a set screw goes over here. Let's just quickly place it here and I get the lube off my hands. Because otherwise I'll put it everywhere. So the nasty part is over. And basically we can just clip this in here. And that's our idler assembled. Yes. Then this goes here. And then we use the thumb screw with the spring and the washer. I'm not quite sure if this is correct. Like this washer is way bigger than the one in the manual. Because like there's also like a little bit of like a indentation where the washer is supposed to go, and this is definitely bigger. Let me just use. I have those M3 shims for they like we use them in my custom printer in the bearing stacks. They seem to be the right size, so let me just use 2 of those. Then we have the same thickness. Because here it says in the manual, long short receiver springs will change the tension characteristics and have an impact on how well the tension mechanism works. Consider buying the original Bondtech part, as those are known to work well. If sourced from a different vendor, check if it's roughly 12 mm long with an outer diameter of 6 mm and a thickness of 1. I think the part is fine. It doesn't say anything regarding the washer. So I assume it's a standard M3 washer, which means it's like double the thickness of the shims I have. So 2 shims should be fine. Perfect. Then this is assembled. Let's see. So now we take the main body. So we have the flat piece. We have the other bearing is already on here. So let's just press one bearing in place here. And then the gear runs on top here. So then on the main body we have the opposite. Let's see how we get that in there. All the way here on the bottom. Okay, that's in. And then we need this little set screw here on the side. That's an M3x6, which I have here. And it's basically just to set like a tension limit, I think. I never used the screw. Like it's on all the Voron extruders, but I never used it. I think you need it for TPU and stuff like that for soft material, which generally don't print. So oh, and adding a small amount of thread locker for the flathead screw. It says. Let me do that. We want to be in accordance with the manual, of course. Let's see. So. One drop of medium strength thread locker is in. And then they positioned the screw ever so slightly out. So let's just copy the position as it's shown in the manual. I think something like this, like it's like ever so slightly out now. So let's just do as the manual shows. Perfect. It's going quite quick. Then the next step is the big gear, and we need to add the small gear. Let's see, we need like a very tiny in key. And we can slide it on. So basically the distance should be 15.6 millimeters. Let's quickly check that. So poly-made gears often cause print quality issues. This is most likely poly-made gear, so let's see how it goes. Most likely long run, I'll replace it with a Ritka gear from Bondtech, which is like the precision machined one. I already have to only be 0 and I really like it so far, so most likely I'll do the same here. Yes, we also need to add some thread locker, that's also important. And the initial position is 15.6. So let's just roughly position this 15.6 millimeters. See if I can manage to get 15.6. Yeah, 6.1 is, I think, as close as it gets. Oh, I lost the screw, the set screw too. Huh. Interesting, okay. That's too bad. And that's measured to the center of the ridge, so it needs to be a bit higher. Let's see. First, it's very tight here, which I guess it's good, so it doesn't have a lot of play, but yeah, I think like this should be good. Then we also need a bit of thread locker. And that was a bit too much. Now it's all over the gear. Let's quickly clean this up. Okay. Mostly done. Perfect. And I guess this just drops in here. And we had to cover exactly. Perfect. Seems to fit. Gear doesn't touch anything so far. Let's see how it's later aligned, but so far it looks good. And I guess we need M3 by 25s. 2. And they go in from the front here and here. And we should not over tighten, as stated in the manual. This one poked out. I think this is like not a 25 screw. That might be a 30 or 28. Oh, 30 is the next one in my set. I think that. Yeah, it's a 30. That was in the wrong bin. Let's try again with a 25. Then you also don't have to screw it in for so long. hand tight. And this one, like if we tighten too much, like the gap where the lever layer sits will be too tight. Initial alignment check. So basically we need to see that the groove aligns with the notch here, and this looks good so far. So this can go a little bit more towards this direction, but it's not completely off. So let's keep it like this for now. Filament, yeah. If I would have been smart, I would have gotten some filament. Yeah. Okay, I'll quickly grab like a little bit of filament. Right back. Sorry. I have a small sample from Redline filament ASA. Let's just steal a tiny bit from here. Okay, let's do our alignment check. Actually looks quite good. So this looks very centered in the groove. So that's good. Check alignment, we did. And check clearance, that we don't have any touching parts here, but that also looks good. Like there's nothing touching here. Like you even see like the bearing stack, or like the bearing, like just the little silver part here. So nothing touches anywhere. Spins freely. So I think the position is actually quite good. We can keep it like this. Cool. Next step. Oh, it looks complicated. Let's see. So basically we just insert the arm. And we add, yeah, basically one screw. No, you don't see it, it's behind the, here you see the empty chat. One screw for the pivot point of the lever. Okay. So this just goes in here, and then it's another M3 by 25. Yeah, perfect. So this captures this and just goes through. Yeah, and this one also we shouldn't tighten. It's just for the pivot basically. If you tighten too much, like this lever action, basically it's just stuck. I'm just trying to tighten just so much that it doesn't impede the movement. Yeah, now it's getting not tight, but like there's a bit of friction, so that's fine. Perfect. And the last part. So this goes in like this. See if we get this like in the proper position. And we use another M3 by 25. It should also be M3 by 25. Yeah. closes very tightly. Most likely, like if you open close it like a couple of times, like it will wear down. Yeah, I think that's good. Let's see what the filament is doing. So if we insert now some filament, we should be able to feed it through. And it's definitely not right. Something is not right because like you can see here, like the gears inside are not meshing. I think this should be in this position. Ah, no. So I didn't close it properly. It's interesting, like there's one position here. It kind of engages, but not quite. That runs okay. It's not super smooth. Like, I'm not sure if it's a filament. Maybe the tension is a bit too high. Like there feels like one spot where the filament gets stuck basically. I think it's okay. Yeah, should be fine. Like it's definitely grabbing nice, like you see, maybe you don't see on the camera, but it has like a little bit of the rifling, like the pattern of the gears imprinted, like now basically all around because I moved it in and out. But it's basically what you want to see, right? Like really soft tooth marks where it extruded gripped the filament. Cool. So that's the mechanical parts basically. Let's see what's next up in the manual. Okay, so we mount the stepper motor. So we need an M3 by 30. And we push it. On the other side. Not sure if this should grip here in the plastic, but it grips a bit. This might be annoyance, but should be fine. Oh, I'm using the wrong screw hole. That explains a lot. This should go through here, but same thing, like it grips a bit. Okay, so we can still tilt the motor. We need an M3 washer and M3 by 8. And that goes behind here. Yeah, I have it through. Let's not tighten this. So basically we can still adjust the motor position. And this will determine basically the meshing with the gear. So it's most likely just the next step. Exactly. So now they talk about the gear meshing. So how you want to mesh your gears is you have like the POM gear here on the side. Basically when you, at the moment it doesn't engage at all with the motor, it just spins completely free. But if you like push the motor now down, like now it has absolutely no play. So now it's completely engaged. Hi there, Nadir. So what we're looking for is like a position here where there's a bit of play. So you see here now, basically I can wiggle this POM gear ever so slightly back and forth. That's already a bit too much, but basically you want to have a little bit of wiggle, but not too much. Something like this. So if I hold steady, something like this should be fine. Try to do it a little bit. No, it's already too tight. Yeah, just like this, like a little tiny bit of wiggle. If you tighten it, like if you mesh it too tightly, you will wear out the POM gear. So double check after tightening. Yeah, see now the motor, like I tightened it and the motor moved a bit. Now we are too tight. Try again. Yeah. Okay, then we have to like do it like whenever I tighten it, like the meshing gets tighter as well for some reason. Let's just do it like a bit too loose. And try now. Ha. Let's do it like a fair bit too loose. So it's definitely not too much. Let's see if we tighten it, if we're getting like a good amount. Oh, that's weird. Like whenever I tighten the motor, like the play goes away. So now we have quite a substantial amount of play. Yeah, now we still have to play. But now it's a bit too much for my liking. It's a bit too tight. I'm not quite sure why this is so difficult right now to get nice. Yeah, I think like this is good. Just a bit of wiggle. Let's tighten the other side of the motor as well. Yeah, perfect. Okay. I didn't pay attention to the orientation of the cable of the motor, to be honest. I think down is fine. Yeah, it's actually quite good because the motor port will be somewhere here, so we can kind of like wrap it around the motor and plug it in. So that should work fine for us. Okay. That's how we'll later look. Very nice. Do you know how many grams this tool will weigh? I have no clue. It's definitely heavier than what I had before, because like before I just had the Voron. But self burner in general is on the chunky side. It's not a lightweight tool head. So if you're looking for like something lightweight, that's not the tool head. The tool that you want to use. So basically, I think the Dragon Burner for lightweight applications is a better choice. You could also go with the mini stealth burner, but then you don't have any part where to put the probe. Okay. I wonder why we have this dowel left. I wouldn't know where to put it. Let's see. I don't think there's anything coming up still, so I'm not quite sure what this is for. Because I definitely used the right one for that section here. Okay, no clue what this is for. Let's just put it to the side and see, do we need it? Cool, that's clockwork too. Let's add the strain relief back. Let's see, I think in the manual the strain relief was further up and we skipped it. M3x20 and M3x8 on the front. I'm asking this because I have designed a toolhead that has a lot of features and it's like 320 grams and has a very tight cable management, a lot of covers. Sounds pretty cool. What we can do is, like, after we put everything together here, I can just put it on a scale. I have a scale here, and then we just see what it weighs. But most likely, if you Google that, I mean, it will also depend a bit, right, on the exact configuration. Because, like, for example, I have now this hotend here, the MicroSiwss. Do you want to take a look? It's competitive with all the Voron to try and... Well, you can send it over. But I'm not gonna build something else right now. It's also like for me, because I use the USB-C toolhead board, which is specifically made for stealth burner. Like this fits perfectly here. So it's very difficult for me to use another toolhead, to be honest. Ooh, I see a problem. This collides with the strain relief. Maybe we have to rework that a bit. I don't think we can use this in combination. That's a shame. Yeah, the board is really nice. Let's see how it works. But basically we will connect it via USB-C and get power from the CAN bus connection, basically. That's the connection for the motor, and then we have this daughter board on the front, which connects something like this. I guess. And this will have all the fans and everything connected here. So it's a really nice setup. And kind of locks me in to this tool head in a certain way, because it's really custom made to fit with that. If you want to print ABS, you will need a fan, especially if it spines you. This printer doesn't. This printer isn't enclosed, so that's not an ABS machine, anyways. There's a little heatsink in the box, which we'll install later. But yeah, it's not enclosed, so I'm super concerned about the temperature. But yeah, so basically this is the SB2209, and there are like two different versions of that. This is the one with the RP2040, so it's the newer one. But there's also older version with don't know, like some generic chip. The difference is mainly that on the newer version with the RP2040, the connectors are much bigger. So these are like the standard JST PH connectors, and the old one had like not the PH but like the smaller size, which are like super nasty to crimp. Yeah, some SCM. Don't ask me which one. Okay. Then, yeah, I think this is kind of complete. I mean, we can install the cover as well. Let's see, that's most likely one of the next steps. M3x8. Oh, they had an M3 by... Oh yeah, that's for the cover. M3x16. Through here, and then we add the cover on the back. The color scheme, like the printer already exists, it's yellow and black. So it's a lot of black, bit of yellow. See? Okay, it's a bit of a shame. Like for some reason, the screw binds in the back part here, which it shouldn't. Which makes this really difficult right now. Let me quickly get this back out. And then I think I will quickly grab an M3 drill bit and just drill this hole out, that it fits properly the screw. Because if this binds, it's a bit annoying to do this. Yeah, and then the other thing is like this part. We need to do something about that, because definitely like this will collide with the board. I'm also wondering now. Okay, let's do one step at a time. So first, let me quickly grab a drill bit and then we drill this out. 1 second, I'm right back. I bought an Ender 3 clone 310 by 310 Basslinger just to do a big switch wire. It sounds like a pretty cool project. Mine is just like a standard Ender 3. I think that's already it. Exactly. It's out of it. And now the screw should just go, yeah, snugly go through. Perfect. That makes my life easier. Yes, love tinkering. If you want to take a look, yeah, sure. Just send the link in chat. So now this is much easier. Don't have to have this super tight like this. It's okay if it's a bit wobbly. Perfect. Yeah, that's the extruder part. So this is now all assembled. I actually want to have it a bit tighter. Yeah. Okay, so I also feel like that we are missing like a space apart here. Let's quickly take this drag chain mount off. And see how the board fits here. Yeah, like if you look from the front, we definitely need like a space apart because like the screw holes here are way too far off. So I'm definitely missing a part here. You have to quickly print that, I guess. Shouldn't take long for sure. I just did not prepare the printer for like a print job, so we quickly have to pull filament out of storage and set it up. Okay, cool. So let's quickly figure out what part we are missing here. SB2209 manual. So maybe start like that. Do they have any? But it's a whole board. We don't need the board. Build guide? Build guide. It's a packing list, that's fine. I actually quickly download that and just open that. I prefer the Chrome. Yeah, so it's just the board. That's all fine. Oh yeah, we have to replace the board in the front. This we need to configure, but for us it's just a V-in. Just looking for where they install exactly, and this little piece we are missing. Oh no, I need a different main body. Oh, well, I should have read the manual before. But I didn't see any files in the repository. So it's the main body, cable cover, and this little part, but where do I get them? Because it doesn't say that. Let's see. Oh, here it says STL. Let's quickly see. Aha, that's also a part that doesn't quite fit. This one has a cutout here for the USB, like it's black, so it's quite difficult to see. But it's a bit different. Okay. Well, the main body is a bummer. Let's see how different is this? Well, it's most likely just like a couple small details they changed. Because it looks pretty much the same to me. Yeah, so this part we don't need because we don't run umbilical setup. This part we do need. I'm just not sure if like we can, because I still want to use the drag chains, which is not super typical, because I have a couple of USB cables to run. Okay, let's do the following. I hope we get away without the big parts, and just get away with printing the small adapter here. I doubt it, to be honest. But let's just hack that together for today. And then basically for next time I have to reprint the main body. And we have to quickly fix it up. I did not. Because like the other toolhead board, I mean, I already had that, right? Like the other toolhead board here. And this didn't require any special... Oh! Ah. I see the bridge we need. See what I found. This should be at least similar to the bridge that they use. So let's just see if we get this mounted. So the manual says that like they're little posts and they go to the back. Let's just use the same screws that we have here. And put this on here. And let's see if we manage to get this in here. I think it fits. Yeah, it definitely fits. Okay, so I don't know why they want to have their own modified parts, but this looks looks good to me. You just have to like fiddle around with the cable that this stays where it's supposed to be. But you can close that and it's all good. I'm sure if their cover has like cutouts for like ventilation or something. But it doesn't look like that. But I know that there are like modified parts here where like you have either like even a small fan mount, which I don't think I need because my printer isn't enclosed. So this should be fine. The only thing, let's do it right away. Let's mount the little heatsink. So I'm just using a tiny bit of isopropyl alcohol to just quickly clean the chip so that the heatsink sticks properly. Hi there, Oceanam. Oh, Oisanam. Sorry, I'm completely butchering that. So let's clean, and then we have this teeny tiny heatsink. Sure, it's straight. And this is cooled. Okay. Then, so the mounting part is definitely solved. Like, I'm not quite sure why they want to have their own parts, but so the problem stays that this doesn't quite fit. Like, it's like very slightly too long. But the part that they have doesn't work with the cable chain. So if we look at this, yes, they have the cable in the same way. Cable, 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 cable. And we have to crimp all the pins. Yeah, this is the part here. They use this steel wire. And then they use it as an umbilical, but we don't use the umbilical. So I don't think that this... No, it's software. So this part is not for us. This doesn't work for us. But it also means that we need to see if like somebody modified this part. I mean, basically all you need to do, right? Like you just move this part back like 5 millimeters. Yeah, just like 5 millimeters, and it clears this USB-C port here. 5 millimeters is enough. So just like those holes, go back 5 millimeters. And you know what? How about we do the following? I quickly set up the printer for like just like load a spool of ABS, and then we preheat the printer, and while we preheat, we just modify this part in Fusion to fit the need we have. Because like I think it should be really easy. There's enough space here in this like surface that we just really move the 3 holes just backward, and then we basically just push in the surfaces here also 5 millimeters. So we just shorten it by just see what. Let's just shorten this as much as possible. I think like if you see here how much space we have here for the 3rd screw hole from the front, it's definitely enough. So I think that's a good plan. So let me quickly give me like a minute to set up the filament, and then I'm right back. Sorry for the many interruptions today. Okay, I'm back. So then let's just quickly fire up Fusion and make our own part. Before we do that, actually let's quickly check if somebody did it already for us. SB2209 cable chain. Oh, somebody did that already for us. Very convenient. It's a bit different than what I have designed, what I would have designed, but that seems like it would work. So let's just print this one, and then we don't have to fusion around. So let's quickly download that. Let's fire up Orca. And all the random things I print. Did it download now? No, it didn't download yet. Okay, sorry. And here we have the file. Perfect. So it's really, yeah, it's a 3-hole cable chain variation. I'm not sure where it now ports itself. 3-hole cable chain variation. I'm not quite sure if this is the correct print. It's definitely not the right printing orientation. Yeah, okay. Let's slice that. And print. Perfect. Let's just keep an eye on that. I haven't printed in like 1.5 weeks or something. So I have very low confidence at the moment in the machine. Let's hope it just goes all smooth. Perfect. Yeah, in the meantime, let's get like an overview of the different crimping connectors we need to do. So here we need something to hold this in place. Maybe if the bridge here is in place, we can kind of like just force it in between the bridge and the motor, and maybe the cable just stays there. Otherwise, yeah, we'll figure out. I just don't want to like flop it around. Just like could be somewhat. Maybe it's even just enough to bend it back here. Yeah, that already helps a lot. Okay, cool. So let's just quickly check. So we have these connectors here. Now I think for the hot end, it's actually already the correct connector. Yeah, it's the micro fit. So the hot end fits. I'm just not sure. Yeah, the cable is way too short. So we have to extend the cable here. We have to extend the cable. And for the thermistor, we need to check. I think it's this one here, the small JST. And then for the probe, we also need to rewire everything. Where do I have the... Oh, it's still on the switch wire. But at the moment, the probe are 3 different connectors. So I think the length is fine for the probe wires. We just have to recrimp that on a single JST, which is great. End stop we don't have, so that's not something we need to do. So for this side, all we need to do basically is recrimp the probe and recrimp the thermistor and extend the wires for the hot end and then crimp that again. That's a bit of a shame. And then for the front, let's quickly check that. This box here with like, this is the front. Just drop the screws. And we will also just like use some of the wire from the cable chain that we removed. So let's see. So this is basically the replacement for this board. So this is way more sophisticated, I would say. What we need to connect here is basically the 2 fans, the LEDs, and the Nomi screen. So this is like, these are for the RGB. Okay, let's just quickly check the manual then. But I think first, yeah, let's just start with this part actually. We have to unsolder the cables, then we have to like remove just like the tip, and then we have to crimp the connectors. Oh, it's actually still on. Could have turned it off. Let's just use the big one. Okay. And back on and up for soldering temperature. Yeah, I'll just leave it in here for now. I think it's easier to just desolder it while it's on here. And I think let's just start with the part cooling fan. Should be quite easy. And basically, we just snip off the tips with the solder. Remove a tiny bit of isolation. And now we need to figure out what goes where. Oh, they even have screws. I didn't see that. So let's quickly check the manual, which connector they expect us to use for what. Okay, so they use this one, the small DuPont. Yeah, it's just checking like there's still like crimps for the other things. Well, I guess it's my most favorite part of the stream. Crimping. Okay, this one's on. So far it's one for one. If we get a streak. No, I definitely have to use the smallest crimp setting for those. And the printer starts printing, so let's quickly check this. Looks good. There's some gunk. Yep, looks good. Perfect. So, then the DuPont don't have like the orientation, but let's have the probe points to the outside, which means the red one is on the bottom. And the black one is on top. Okay, that's the first connector. Then let's see, so the thick cable's down here. So 2 would be the fan. Like, yeah, those 2 here are the fan for sure. Let's just grab them. Hope they're long enough, but should just be fine. Ah, okay. That one was not good. Actually, let me give you like a bit closer view of that small stuff. Okay, that's a bit thicker cable, so let's go for the medium preset. Okay, Still need the small one. The medium doesn't really grab it. Okay. Third attempt. Let me also like remove a bit more isolation. Okay. Third attempt is the charm. Yeah, this one is on. Okay. So we still have to use the smallest preset. Okay, then it's the same orientation. So red on the bottom and black on top. Perfect. 2 for 2. Then let's do the RGB cables next. So these are those 3. It's good that the RGB connector is like on the bottom because these are relatively short. So bit more crimping. Now we're like almost done. Let's also quickly check what the printer is doing. Looks good so far. Hi Ricky, sorry, totally missed you. And hi Tony, also missed you. Sorry, I was so focused on my crimping stuff. New stream, was busy doing the new wires for the dual extruder project. I'm the one. Yo, I see. How's it going with the dual extruder? Also planning to convert my Ender. How much time have you already spent on this conversion? I spent a lot of time, but I also didn't quite do it on the most efficient route. Let's put it like that. Like, firstly, like this is now like already like upgrades in a certain sense, or like changes. Because originally I had like a Bowden extruder setup. I think it depends also a bit like on the state of your Ender, I think. Yeah. It depends also a bit on the state of your Ender, most likely. On your experience level. I think for me, like, I mean, it's always a bit difficult with streaming, like you always need more time, but like everything I did is streamed. So we are now in part this is part 21, I think. Let's say like a stream on average is like 3 hours, maybe, yeah, let's say 3 hours. So it would be 60 hours so far. But again, like it's not really like representable, because I did, yeah, not like super straightforward the things in one order. So I think you should estimate, I would say at least 40 hours to get it like everything properly set up and everything. 40 hours seems reasonable. But if you don't mind spending, let's say like 60 to 80 hours, I wouldn't start, because like stuff goes wrong and like you need to do something again. And I think like this project is not for the printer you get, it's more for the experience building the printer. Like if you want to have a nice printer, I think there are better ways to get that, because like in the end you have the ender, you need to buy, I mean by now there's the CBOR conversion kit, right? So I did everything manually, basically by hand. So I bought all the parts separately. So also for me, not everything fit quite perfectly together. If you have the CBOR kit, it will be a smoother experience for sure. But basically CBOR kit I think like runs for like 300 euros. So I mean, it's a nice printer, don't get me wrong. But it's, if you don't have an ender and you wouldn't, yeah, like it's not the best value for money, let's put it like that. Hopefully I will figure it out in 2 days. That will be tough. Like 2 days is tough. I'm from Germany. Just like Lego. Yeah, it's a complex Lego. 40 hours is doable if you get a kit where everything is labeled pre-cramped. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, that's actually a good one, Tony. Because I did the entire cable chain that we now like removed. Like I did all the cables and all the crimping by hand, right? Like everything was manual for me. Also those boards, like this one I soldered myself. So I that's what I mean. Like I did definitely not go the straightforward route. So for me it takes a lot longer than it should. I think 40 is doable if you have a kit and you don't have to do the wires. That's a big one, because the wires, you see it right now here, right? Like I'm crimping now since like 20 minutes on the third connector. Like I'm also talking now and everything, but crimping takes a lot of time. Let's see, so here we have red on top. I have polished technical dough in me, so it will be fine. Yeah, it will be fine. Like if you, let's put it like this, like if you tinkered with your ender before, you will be fine. It will take you, worst case, it will take you longer than you expect. And maybe 2 days is too ambitious, to be honest. Like if you now give me like an ender and tell me do it again, and you give me a kit, I maybe would do it in 2 days. But this would not be like fun 2 days. Like this would basically nothing else but building printer. This yellow cable doesn't want to go in. It doesn't want to go in or out. Okay, now it's in. Perfect. That crimping such a pain. It will take a lot of time. Yeah, like I think I did. I'm not even kidding. Like I think I did like 2 streams crimping. Like it was just like crimping for like 2 streams. And yeah, so if you get like if you would do the conversion now, I would definitely go for the Seaboard kit because it's cheaper. Like it's way cheaper to get the Seaboard kit. I think in the video description I actually still have the list of things I bought and how much I paid. So the Seaboard kit is cheaper than what I paid. It's more complete because I think you even get a hotend with it, and you definitely get the enclosure, right? So for me, I don't have space now for the printer here, but like I only have the deck panel and the bottom panel. I don't have the enclosure. And the deck panel and the bottom panel I had to order from like a local company, and it cost me like, I think like 65 euros or something, just for those like 3 panels to be laser cut. And it's like super expensive. So basically like the panels were like, I would say like 20% of the entire price was just like 3 acrylic panels. It was like complete pain. I'm very concerned crimping those like teeny tiny cables. They're very thin. Let's see how it goes. I'll go to podcast mode and just listen. Thanks, Sony, for listening in. 9% of the Ender evolution. You add a stealth burner for the looks. You had rail for a bit of printing. You do a switch wire. Yeah. I mean, for me, when I was like working on my Ender, stealth burner didn't exist yet. I can't remember. Like I had some other like toolhead that was fancy back then. But yeah, like if you add linear rails, you're pretty much for some reason my crimping pliers jammed. I think like from the switch wire, like linear rails are one of the most important, like expensive parts to get. Okay, I think that worked. I mean, like, I would need to check, but like for me, like the main costs were the deck panels actually, which you could technically print. There are printable options for the deck panels, I think. But yeah, so deck panels were like expensive. The rails, I mean, you just need a lot of rails for the switch wire build. They were quite expensive. And it's like just like a lot of like smaller things. Like if you use the chains and everything, it's like 15 euros here, 15 euros there, and it really adds up quickly. So it's not a cheap build. Like if you like source the parts individually, it's definitely not a cheap build. Let's see. I'm not quite sure where they want us to connect the Nomi to. We need to quickly see, like, the cable. I hope it's not this connector in the top, because that would be... we would barely reach. Let's see. Do they have like a... yeah, this is just a PWM fan, which we can actually use for the Nomi, right? Because the PWM fan has a constant voltage on V fan, and the Nomi doesn't matter, doesn't care for the voltage. So let's just use 2-pin DuPont, and then ground is on the bottom. And it's just twisted a bit around itself. And red is on top. I hope that's correct. Okay, that's it. So these are all the cables. So let's just take out the old board. I'm fairly certain I will use it again at some point for another build. Let's turn off the soldering iron. For now, we still have to extend the one cable. So let's just use the screws they gave us. Quite funny that they have like those ports here. That's the CAN bus connection. So it's very funny that they break out the CAN bus there. I wouldn't know like why you would need a CAN bus on the front side of the tool head. Maybe they have something planned for the future. Like a CAN bus connected Nomi or something would be pretty cool actually. Over tighten it. Okay, cool. So this is the, let me quickly see, I think the part cooling fan. Yeah, the part cooling fan they have on top. So also double check, red is on the bottom, black is on top. Then let's fiddle the Nomi cable in the middle, so it's kind of like trapped there. This one goes here. The RGB LEDs go here. It's just long enough. And then the Nomi goes here, and the RGB has the black one on the bottom. I always like to triple check cables and then I do it wrong anyways. Black bottom, yellow center, red top. And then here we just need to pay attention. Ground's on the bottom and V fan, which is 24 volts, is on the top. So this goes here. This is much nicer than the solder. I mean, it's like a way more expensive setup, so. No. Yeah. What happened now? I pushed the DuPont connector in. You see, like here, the clips buckled. I have to replace this DuPont connector. They don't give you an extra one, that's sad. Luckily I'm prepared. No, that's not supposed to be in here. It's a 3. There's a 2. Let's try this again. Red is on the bottom. And it's quite a thick cable to fit in there. And the print is done. Let me try to compress that a bit more here. This one, maybe it goes in better that way. Just like press down on that a bit to make it a bit smaller. Yeah, that's better. Still doesn't quite want to go in. Okay, let's see if we can. Ah, now it goes in smoother. So something was wrong with that connector. I'm not quite sure why. Cool. If we wanted to, we could quickly check that like the connection is okay. I do have a multimeter somewhere. Let's just quickly check that like the crimps are good. I need to pay attention to chat more. Sorry, I'm really bad today. I did see the kit. I did see the Seaboard kit. It was a very good experience. All you need is a recipe and Ender. Yeah, exactly. Would recommend it if you like tinkering with printers. And Switchwire can be modded to death if you want to. Yeah, I think it's a really cool printer. Like, you can do so. Like, I mean, based on what I'm doing now, right? It's just modded to the printer, and it's kind of cool because it's my first printer. And I would kind of feel bad to give it away, because it's like so much of like my printing experience in a certain sense comes from this printer. And I think it's also like exactly like how like Seaboard markets those like Enderwire conversion kits to like save your first printer. So it's exactly the angle they're going for. I think it's really cool. Like, it's just like the Ender itself, of course, has its limits. Like, it's not a printer to scale in a certain sense. But if you like have a Switchwire, it's just like so much better. Like, you can do way more things with it. It's just like a better printer overall, of course. Cool, that looks really good. So mine is just like weird buckling here, but yeah. Perfect. Then let's move on to the next part. You could go linear rails, and Kevin, aka Sam, duals at belt mod. I'm pretty sure that would be just as good. Yeah, I guess. Like, I mean, if you replace the V rollers with linear rails and you have belted that, it's kind of like the same, I guess. Like, I mean, it's not core exact, of course. But like from a precision perspective, I think it would be the same. So, okay. Here we said we need to extend the hotend cable. And wait, that's the direction. So we need to extend the hotend cable, because it's way too short to reach back here. So basically this needs good 3 centimeters. Oh, cool. The Mr. cable kind of came out. That's good. That's what we want. Yeah, but this one is definitely long enough. Let's double check that like it's really this like one JST connector here. Now I'm a bit concerned it's like very close. Like, it will be like really difficult to put this like connector in. So maybe we have to like cut like a little bit in the plastic here, but should be fine. Cool. So let's just start with the hotend, I think. And I think it's best to just take apart this block that we have like a little bit more access to the cable itself. Exactly. And then maybe I wonder where it's a good point to, like, technically we can like try to remove the heat shrink here and like just reuse the solder connection in a certain sense that we had already. Maybe it's a good idea. So let's just try to open this up. Yeah, perfect. turn off this soldering iron. So let's just turn this back on. And I also didn't prepare heat shrink. But in order to have a whole bag, it's over here. Yeah, a lot of heat shrink. And let me quickly grab the part. I'm right back. Cool. So that's the modified bridge. It's, yeah, just basically moves the entire chain back. What you see is a dry fit if it fits. So very tight around the USB-C. I don't really like that. I mean, it fits. But I think what I would do, because I don't really like to have, I'm not quite sure if it's a feature that like there's like so much pressure on the USB-C port. Yeah, it's okay. So this part definitely solves our problem. And then we just have to most likely remove like one link of the chain. Let's quickly like do this. Oh no, let's not, because we have to do heat inserts and I have to change the tip again of the soldering iron. Then let's do first all the soldering and then we do this part. But yeah, this also holds the cables of the motor back here. So that also solves this problem very nicely. Perfect. Just get rid of this. Bring up a bit all the things we don't need. Okay. Actually, use my third hand. Okay. Yeah, we can just reuse that. I'll just like move the heat shrink a little bit down, I think, to cover like the ends. But I mean, this like red thing is just like decoration, I think. As mentioned, let's just reuse some of the cable. We just need to pay attention. Like last stream, we discovered that like some of the cables broke. But to be honest, that's like kind of an okay length. So let's just use the segment that broke. And then we should let me just use like a longer section, and then we can just cut it to the length we need. Then we can just do a test fit. This is way too long, but that's okay. I also need some tin. I don't like that. Very fat. I think it will just be like this because like two relatively thick cables. I think I'm not gonna get this much better. But here we can like snip off a bit. Maybe I should. Let's do the following. Like this is like quite a short. Let's nah, it's fine. Should be fine. Tweezers. Okay, this looks good. Let me quickly redo this one. I don't like this one. Okay. I think a quite good connection. Let's see what we have heat shrink wise. I kind of want to cover this quite wide, so let's go for quite long strips. Oh no, that's too small. That size is too small. I need to get a bigger one. This one. I hope this one shrinks enough. And of course, I don't have a lighter. Let's quickly use the soldering iron. Okay, let me quickly grab a lighter. Sorry, I have to go away again. 1 second, I'm back. I have a lighter. Let's do it like this. Cool. Now we have a very long cable and can decide how long we actually need it. Perfect. I think that's it for soldering. Let's just put this bottom section back together. Should be a second screw somewhere in my mess here. Really nice, like how simple this stealth burner comes together. I think it's really nicely designed. Toolhead. Okay. So if we now look at this, something like this. So we need this cable to go around here. We of course don't have the heat shrink exactly. Maybe we should have spliced a little bit lower. It would have been actually good to like do it lower, because then we don't have like the heat shrink part in the bend. Yeah, it should be fine. So basically it goes around. Just add a tiny bit of extra so we do it like this. Oh, oops. One is now much shorter than the other. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go for the shorter length. And let's crimp the microfit connector on that. So we don't have a lot of attempts here. So this should kind of work on the second attempt at least. Crimped a little bit too much. Oh, like I removed the isolation for too much. Squeeze it a bit in the end. And that is number one. Squeeze it a bit in the end. Oh, I think I crimped this one too far forward. That's not good. Okay, let's quickly do this one again. There's like this little like post. I'm not sure what to say. There's like this little like post on the front, and I crimped that accidentally. Always fun. Now it's better. Okay, then we have a new housing. See? That goes in nicely. Perfect. That's our hotend connection. Let's recrimp the thermistor. And let's make it a little tiny bit shorter. Also, we still didn't confirm like which one is the thermistor port and which one is not. Yeah, this one is the correct one. So it's supposed to be the J is T. But it will be like really hard. I don't think we can plug this in. We have to maybe like undo the board and pull out the board, plug it in. But then this means like lengthwise. Yeah, we can make it a bit shorter. Not want to make it too short, but bit shorter. Have you put the heatsink in the right place? Does it not go under the stepper chip? No, it's not for the stepper chip. It's for the RP2040. Because this, like the chip that runs the board is getting quite hot. And there have been like cases of like the board overheating. It's actually like if people run this in enclosures, there's a mod for this cover to contain like a mini fan just to cool the board. The stepper driver itself doesn't need any cooling, I think, as far as I know. I mean, it's also like the stepper driver is on the back here, so you could only put it on the front. But just to confirm, because I do screw up quite a bit sometimes. Software, where's the step where they glue the heatsink? Oh no, you are also correct. Ah! It goes to the stepper. That's it, following. Where is it? Yeah, should be. There should be like small heatsink in here. Let's do the, is it the, oh, it's actually exactly the same size. So let's just take this one. Thank you, Stephen, for pointing it out. Let's also quickly, yeah, that was perfect. Clean that area. Yeah, but it's definitely also good for the Raspberry to have that. So now both have it. That's also good. Thank you. So back to crimping. We have 2 more connectors to go. This connector, and then we have to take up the cleanup here, and the printer needs to go on the table because it's for the BLTouch, which is on the printer. It's number 1. And that's number 2. The order doesn't matter. That's in. And the second one. Cool. Okay, they're both in. So that's this part. Then let me quickly clean up a bit. We still need to crimp. We're not done with that one yet. Let's put the drill up here. All the parts we need on the sides. Don't need the multimeter for now. Save our filament bit. We definitely need this one. Just put it back here where it belongs. And this is all trash, minus the Allen key. Just put this in my little trash bin. Okay, much better. Then let's go up. And we should move the camera up before moving the printer. Here we go. Big printer. So we need to recrimp those cables here from the BLTouch. I think it's best to do this now before we do anything else. I'm just a little bit concerned with the length. So if we kind of like preliminarily put this together, because like the length is already super short, so we need to be really conservative. Like if we, oh, actually we don't have to recrimp them. It's the same connector. Okay, then let's not recrimp. So it's really just now I also didn't quite consider like there's no space here whatsoever to route the we need to see where to route the hotend cable, because like there's the chain directly. That's maybe like where the proper parts would have come in handy. Well, let's first fix those cables. So then basically all we need to do is carefully remove them from the housing. Doesn't want to go out. That's a good start. Usually they're relatively easy to get out, but those are super stuck. Let me try another one. Let me try the yellow one. You only need to bend this like plastic part off. Oh, yeah, exactly. See, that comes out right away. Oh yeah, and I remember the brown cable was a bit damaged, so we need to be careful there. I wonder whether we should add like a teeny tiny bit of heat shrink here. Already have it, so just a question like the ones we would get over the trim. I mean, this one should fit. We do a short. It just will make it even harder to route the cable. This is like a really tiny piece. Just to protect it here a bit. Okay, then back to our like two troublemakers. All the other cables came out. Here we go. That's one. And two. They just need a bit of push. Perfect. Okay, that's all the cables. Exactly, now we have this like 1 5-piece housing. We just need to be really certain that it's the right order because it's difficult to redo that. Here, this is BLTouch. Well, now we just need to figure out what is what, because I mean they could have matched the colors. Red is 5 volt, that's easy. Black is ground. I think brown is also ground, and white and yellow are signal. Yes, so that's nice picture, but doesn't really quite help. Let's quickly check the BLTouch pinout, just to be sure. BLTouch pinout. Yeah. This is what we need. So, yeah, exactly. Black is ground. Red is 5 volt. Brown is ground. And white and yellow are signal. So it doesn't quite say here. I don't think those two make a big difference. But let's just assume, because this is like a triple pack, that like the yellow one is this one, GPIO22. And then the white one is GPIO21. Just double check, white is signal and yellow signal. Okay, let's put it together. So looking at the locks, basically, it would be brown, red, yellow, just quadruple check because I really don't want to do this odd. Brown is ground, so it is brown, red, yellow. Yes, brown, red, yellow. Then let's commit. Not sure if brown is fully in. Yeah, it's in. Okay, brown, red, yellow. And then it's easy, it's black. And white. Just put in white first. Okay, complete. This is so much easier than the hack we had to do for the other board. So that alone is like worth the upgrade. Perfect. Then I would say let's do the support arm for the back. Because it's still something we need to do. Yeah, that's quite hot still. So let's put it down to 280. I think we need, I'm not quite sure what this extra heat cylinder is for, but let's just put it in. So we need 6 in total. One. Two. The heat silencers are not as nice in this part. Like the holes are for some reason not quite big enough. Seems like the dimensions are ever so. Oh cool, we already crashed. Not a big deal, but 1 second I'll show you. I'll quickly finish this. Oh no, there's no heat set insert needed. See, again. There's a part of my USB-C port. Remember when I said this feels quite tight? Turns out it's quite tight. Not essential, but that's the bottom part. It's like this cover here. Like it's really just like pressed on, so it's really not an essential part. But yeah, I mean now it's gone. So now it fits well. One way to make parts fit. Okay, then we need 2 and 3 by 8 to lock this in place. One here and one there. And I guess we can also directly transfer these. Then we can just directly clip the chain in again. Oh, what? It's the wrong direction. Oh no, wait, I'm wrong. Oh, I'm wrong. Part right, me wrong. The only thing I don't like here is like there's no clear cable tie point. Like you can take zip tie it here on this opening, of course, but my Allen key is like partially magnetic. And the last one. Perfect. Looks nice. Then there was one more step here. Yes, that's something we have. And we don't use this port. We use the thermistor. So there's nothing we need to do. I was wondering whether we have to like configure something here, but that's not for us. Cool. Then I guess we have everything ready to put it together, right? Like all the connectors are crimped. We just have to put it together. Put this out of the way. All the junk. Oh, it just came like a random nut out of my printer. I have no clue where that comes from. Okay, cool. Let's also take out like one. Potentially we have to take out like 2 links, but let's start with one. Let's start with one. So those are all in place. Let's quickly just mount the top part first. Just to show you, there are like the 2 screws here on the front. Oh, wait, I'm stupid. No, wrong screws. That's for the toolhead. We're missing 2 screws on top, but I quickly need to check the length. We need to quickly check the stealth burner manual. We all did that. Yeah, actually, these are the ones I wrongfully tightened just now. M3 by 8. And they need to go through here. But I don't think I can manage the screw head through that hole, so let's do it like that. I don't think the 8 is a good. It clearly says M3 by 8 on both sides. I trust the manual. Okay, sorry, I don't see what I'm doing. No, that's not long enough. I can't remember what we pulled out there. I think before it was really long screws because it went through entire assembly. Oh! That's where the nut came from. Let's just bend the chain out of the way. We definitely need more than... Yeah, we need 20s. Okay. Let's try again with M3 by 20. Okay, that will be funny. Let me first put the... Yeah, no clue how to fill that screw in here. First put the screw. Then I have to find the nut in... There's the nut. I just press it from the back and no, it doesn't catch nut. Let's quickly check from the other side. Okay, here's the nut. This is the nut here. So basically the screw just doesn't seem long enough. But there's still like... No, okay. Yeah, no, it's just not long enough. Let me just poke this out. So we need a 25, I guess. Okay, let's flip it back. Maybe we can actually keep it like this. Now we have access to front and back. Let's try 25. Okay, now I push the nut out. So it's definitely long enough. Now the nut blew out. Okay, I think now I have it. Here we go. Okay, that's one side. So everything works perfectly if you use the correct screw length. Yeah, that goes through. I kind of regret putting on the adapter for the cable chain already, because it kind of makes it really hard to access that hole where the nut is supposed to go. Okay, I have it. Yep, okay, success. Success. Woo. Okay, that was an adventure. Then we can add the tool section. Now we need to figure out how to route the cable for the hot end. So, well, we also kind of like twist it around here. So the problem now is that just get this chain out of here. So the chain runs like this. Basically, the board has this cutout here just for the chain. But we still need to route this cable here somehow back here. And there's not a lot of space. I mean, we can run it all the way around, I guess, like this. And we should have definitely plugged this in before before installing it. And let's just see. So this closes, yeah, and then this kind of like pokes out here, goes around and goes back in. I think that's the only way to run this cable. If we would have left it longer, we could have put it through here, but then also, yeah, I think around the back is fine. We just have to, let's remove the chain here again. Let's just remove it like that, and then hopefully I can negotiate this to go in here. Yeah, that's in. Okay, perfect. So then this goes here somewhere. Then the other cable we need to wrestle a bit is the thermistor here. I just need to see like if we can secure this cable here, but I don't want this to touch the chain all the time. So maybe we can just squeeze it behind the connector here. Let's see. But first the thermistor. So this needs to go The cable broke. Why? Oh. Okay, well. Oh, back to square one. Maybe it's better to plug this in and then like do it like this. But yeah. Oh, this is annoying. Firstly, we have to get out the broken pin. Let me see if I still have like one of those housings. No. We need to rescue this housing. This needs to survive. We need it. Let's first to the other side. Okay. Isn't crimping fun? Okay. Whew. I just can bend those back down and then it's fine. So let's just double check this is good. Well, I don't think I can I can get the hotend unplugged, so we will crimp now in this nice position here. I mean, who needs space to crimp or something? And I'm not positive that making a cable even shorter will help us. I shouldn't have shortened the cable there, most likely. Let's see. Not work. I just really don't want to unplug this microfit connector. But we might get away without it. It's not crimped on the isolation, which might actually be a benefit. Okay, it's crimped on securely. It's just not on the isolation, but I think this makes it a bit more bendable. So let's roll with that. Ah, I damaged the cable a bit. Not sure what that happened. Not sure why I pulled this one out. Could have just left this side in. Okay, now they're in. Okay, let's try it like this. So I just I think we even have to unscrew the board Because like here, it's just like there's a little bit of overlap, and I'm pretty sure it's one of the problems they solved with their customized body parts. So I think we have to unscrew this. And we just have enough play. Exactly. Yep. Okay, it's in. Let's see. Like, I'm not super concerned about the thermistor cable. Like, worst case, if this comes off, we have a thermal runaway and the printer stops. Like, that's kind of the worst case. I think it's good. Like, the crimp should hold. It's just like, if I ever undo this again, like this cable always is like the shortest thing. Potentially we could also like splice this cable as well. And that like a silicone wire that's more bendable for the top part here. I think that would help a lot. Make sure to tighten the board again. Plug in the probe. And we can hopefully close this. Cool, okay. It's assembled. Unscrew the board, insert the plug and screw the board in so you don't have to hack the case. Yeah, that's what I did. But it barely fits. I'm pretty sure I still have to redo the thermistor wire at some point. I think like if there's like if it's a soft silicone cable, you can kind of like bend it a little bit in here, and then you can have it longer. So for example, like if my nozzle clogs or something, I hope it doesn't happen anymore now that the Bowden setup is gone. I can unscrew that and like have a little bit of like movement range, whereas like now it's like really minimal. And me being me, I totally see myself like accidentally ripping out that thermistor cable at some point. Okay, but that means like all the electronic parts here are done, so we can also just dock this correctly on. Yeah, I think so. Now I should just remember where I put the screws. Let me see. Yeah, here. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and I cleaned up, of course. And that's the stealth burner assembled. With our Clockwork 2 extruder. All in black. Except for the little accent yellow here. Cool. But I think I just experienced the problem. Like if I pull this here, it catches on the chain. Okay, let's quickly assemble the chain. Hopefully this solves the problem. Like ideally I don't want that chain to be caught onto it. Let's quickly see lengthwise. I mean, we now took out like one chain part, so the chain is a bit shorter. It's most likely the position here is not correct. Most likely this has to move a bit. Wait. Should be the problem I'm seeing? So now it's a bit too short, I think. Let me just clip this in, and then we can see what happens. Let's not scratch my print surface, ideally. Yeah, so now the problem is, like, this is like the furthest it goes over. Let's do through here so we can slide the chain. Huh. I mean, the problem is now basically that like the printhead is nowhere at the end position. Like this should be like the end position. But now the chain hits the belt because we moved the chain over. And the tool head like snaps on the chain. Like, I'm not sure if you can see it, but see like sometimes the chain moves over, and that's like when it tool head just catches the chain. So I would say that we cannot use the chain. That does not work. We need to change it to an umbilical setup. Yeah, we need to change that. I don't think there's a way around that. By the way, thank you for the cable tray and electronics I've printed for mine ready to build. You're welcome. I think it's a really good thing to have. Cool. I mean, like the canvas cable would go here and use E goes here and canvas here. Yeah, okay. Then we have to change that. No chain. Oh, that sucks. Let me think. How do we do that? Because there's also still the camera here on the back, right? Which I want to keep here. But then the camera cable isn't connected to tool head because the camera doesn't move with the tool head. So we basically have 3 cables here. Like those 2 go to toolhead. This one goes to the camera. So I think we should keep this drag chain here for the camera. Just for this. But those 2 need to go through the umbilical. Like we need to do an umbilical here. And then the another problem, this is like very me specific problem. This printer sits in a shelf, and the top of the shelf above is like 3 millimeters over that extrusion. Like there's no space on top. So in the end, what we need is like umbilical mount on the underside here. Like you'll see, like I have this like really large stop blocks here. It's basically just to limit the Z height to this. So we need to figure out how to do that. Let's see. I think that's something I have to think about a bit. So we need to rerun those cables here. There's also a question, like, because now we cut them to the length for the chain. The umbilical might be a bit shorter, but yeah, let's see. Okay, I have to think about it. We need to mount it somewhere here, like we need to secure the umbilical. And that also means like, but then like, how is this supposed to work? Because like this was a part explicitly meant for cable chains. I mean, like the clearance issue with the chain, we can like file away like a millimeter off the board. So that should be fine. Like that problem should be fixed. But how? Wait, where did we have that? SBB2209 cable chain. Okay, so somebody says good job. But I mean, it's the same setup that I have, and it clearly does not work. Drag chain to use with the beacon bedrock rather than umbilical. This is a new mix that has not been tested yet. Yeah, exactly. It has not been tested yet, and it doesn't work. When was it posted? Yeah, a year ago. Okay, well. The part was perfect. I used the OEM part for the canvas that holds the cable and twisted the cable to form a loop. Yeah, but look what he is doing here with the chain. Like, how is this supposed to work? Because like you have the belts on the side. Does he have like a... Well, he doesn't say switch wire. Is this a switch wire? This might not be a switch wire. Oh, he says switch wire. No. Okay. Umbilical it is, I think. Then basically what I need for umbilical is some mount, which I'll need to think about how to do it. And then we need to rerun the wires and hope that we don't have to extend the wires under deck. That would kind of suck. Yeah, cool. Then let's cut it here. I'll try to find a solution for that, and next week we continue working on it. I'm not back in my weekly schedule, hopefully. Like I don't think I have to cancel any more streams. And I'm also still working on my custom design printer. I just didn't have time the last weeks to like redesign it. I worked on the skirts on the bottom just to design it. And now the big one is basically to design the Z movement basically. Yeah, maybe we do like also like a stream to design it together. Let's see. But yeah, would it work if the cable chain came from the head until 25-45 degree? I mean, maybe it's also a problem with my chain, because this part here, the end part, it doesn't allow the chain to bend down. Like this doesn't bend down. Oh, it does bend down. No. It does bend down. But the problem is like this is the limit, right? Oh, you don't see anything. Sorry. This is the minimum bend radius. Like it doesn't go more, because like here the chain is at the limit. And with this radius here, if I show the front, man, I need some turntable or something to rotate printers. So this is the minimum bend radius. And now see what happens if I move the printhead to the maximum position. This is like X0. And I'll see the belt. Like the chain collides with the belt. So this does not work. Like the chain is at a maximum and the belt is like that. So that would basically mean I lose like 1.5 centimeters of X. Yeah, but like I can like the links don't matter, right? Like, I mean, it doesn't bend up here. That's the problem. These chain links don't bend up. Maybe the one he has bends up, and that's what makes it better. But even then, like, even if you bend it up, right? Because the chain is mounted so far this direction, you only have like this much for the entire rotation of the chain. Yeah, but how am I supposed to give it an angle, right? Like it doesn't rotate up and rotate down, that's the maximum. Or do you mean like to modify the part and give it like an angle? Like we could modify this part maybe and like have the chain link, the initial one at 45 degree already. Then you're kind of like a bit, but even then, let's say like the initial one, that could barely work. Like if you basically make this link here the initial link, this like very steep one, it could just work. But then the problem is like for right, like if it's not at extreme position, like the first one needs to be straight, so it doesn't work either. Yeah, like if you give the bracket the angle, like right now it would go down, right? So this also doesn't work. The angle only works in extreme end position. That would solve that problem, but then you still have the problem like in any other position, right? Because now you have this like angle here. I don't think this works. Like maybe if I have a different chain, but yeah. No, I think like it's the best to go with umbilical. So basically we have the bottom tube anyways as umbilical here, right? So we just have all the cables umbilical. And then the question is just, like for the camera, I wouldn't go umbilical, I think, because like it's really like static in the middle. I don't think it's good if it's like, if the camera is, I mean, technically you could do it, right? Technically you could have the camera as umbilical as well. Let me think about it. I think that's something that needs a bit of consideration. But I think we made a lot of progress today. So we have the entire toolhead, which seems to work. Put some lucky filament here. And try the old bracket with only 2 screws. Oh, you know what you could... You know what we could do? There's this random screw hole here. This one. No, but like moving forward doesn't work because of the layout here. So basically it would offset the chain, and the chain is like twisted. But what we can quickly try... I lost my Allen key. Where did I put my Allen key now? Oh, where it belongs. Let's quickly try this. If we... Let me undo the chain. So if we would like mount it, and we can modify the chain, the final link a bit, that doesn't collide with the USB-C port here. Just for now for testing, let's just offset it. It's like a little bit twisted. Let's see. So if I quickly move this to the side, that would just work. That would just work. But then we still have the problem that the board catches on the chain, which is definitely something I don't want. Like I don't want my electronics board to be caught on something. I mean it touches the belt, but this was just work. So maybe we could solve that with a custom part here. Like I don't want to do that now. But what we could do is we can take this like end link here, and we only use the center screw here in this position, and then basically we just cut out like the space between the 2 holes here in the front to make space for the USB-C port. But then the other problem is if we do that, there's no cable type point. We need to secure those cables at the end of the chain, because like at the moment the idea is most likely to use this section here to secure the cables. I mean, we could come up with a solution. We could come up with a solution. Like I think it's possible if you make a custom bracket, but this one definitely does not work. Yeah, that's it. Let me think about that. So it's either like a custom bracket or umbilical. I think these are the two options we have. Cool. Okay, then. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next week. Bye.